pitch today. We'll look at some more of those who could affect the game, and we'll hear from both managers after the break. See you in a couple of minutes. Today's match of the season.
Sponsored by Bet365.
Yo, every day the city offers up a million beautiful moments just waiting to be captured. You've just gotta look for them. The stories are out there. I mean, look at this. Come on! This is crazy.
So then, Jeff, football, what's it all about?
Well,
It's about the celebrations! It's about this shot! Hey! Dad!
It's about the bacon, butty and brown.
It's called a bacon roll and red.
It's about avoiding the scoreline all day.
They lost.
Whatever it's about for you, Sky Bet are about to drop a completely free builder bet on this huge game. It's what you can expect from the UK's #1 betting app. Sky Bet, that's betting better.
There's a light that always shines on me. Oh, you must know what it's like. Baby, you must know what it's like to love somebody, the way I love you.
Welcome to Eurocamp. Welcome to Eurosplash. Welcome to Euro Chill, Euro Grill, Euro Smash, Euro Flip, Euro Flop, Euro Clippity Clop, Euro High, Euro Buy, Euro Jump, Skip and Hop, Euro Us, Them, You, Me, Sing, Shout, Run, Wee! Euro Eat, Zip, Swim, Repeat, Lodge, Lake, Relax, Retreat, Euro Dive, Euro Tan, Euro Wow, Euro Pan, Near, Far, Night, Day, Dance, Drink, Snooze, Play. Welcome to Eurocamp. Anything's Euro possible.
The city is perfect for a designer. Inspiration around every corner. We love it. Beauty in unexpected places. It's crazy. The buzz, the color, the energy. It's a different place every day.
Right, it's bedtime.
I can't get no sleep.
Your Wi-Fi's going off. Sweet.
EE Wi-Fi Controls lets you pause the Wi-Fi on your kids' devices, helping them to switch off and drift off. This is new EE.
You can't, said the voice. It's too big, it's too fiddly, too disgusting. You don't have the eye, the knack, the know-how. The voice is loud. But guess what? A sledgehammer is louder. You can do it when you B&Q it.
Domino.
Order now for half-time.
Billionaire takeovers? It's madness. They can keep their oil money. Our club's got something money can't buy.
I've heard the news. We've been bought by an oil baron. We're rich.
Loads of money.
Oil money. Loads of money. Transfer money.
Who cares about FFP? The title is back.
Well, they've changed their tune. And here's one for you. If one leg of your bet builder lets you down, get a free bet. Paddy Power.
Sponsored by Bet365.
Diego Costa, tight angle, deflected, touch of fortune that Chelsea need, and it may well have clinched the Capital One Cup. Yet another Wembley success for Chelsea. Pochettino still searching for his first silverware as a manager.
So Chelsea's last win in this competition coming in 2015 against Maurizio Pochettino. He names the same side that drew at the Etihad last week, so Disasi continues as centre-half with there being no Thiago Silva. And as we've been hearing from Pochettino himself, Cole Palmer will have the freedom to go wherever he wants when Chelsea have the ball. Liverpool have made a couple of changes to the side that beat Luton during the week. Kanate comes in for Kwanzaa, and also in the defence, Andy Robertson is back at left back, Joe Gomez amongst the substitutes. Let's hear from both managers. They are with Emma Saunders.
Well, Jurgen, welcome to your 9th major final with Liverpool. How special could today be, and how much are you savouring it?
Finals are always special. I don't know if I savor it now more or less. No, it's just always the same. It's in the sports, it's not. You never can take it for granted, and I will never do and would never do. These occasions are very special. Qualify for something like that is very special. So many teams started it. So many teams want to be here. We made it. That's already great. But now we are here, and now we should give it a try.
How big a moment is this for you and for your Chelsea side?
Well, I think always it's important to play a final. After 8 months, I think this is the first achievement, but now it's about to win, because it's nice to arrive until here, but now it's about to win. It's not to think in another way.
Chelsea had good results before we faced them. They had good results after we faced them. Against us, we could cause them more problems than they thought, and that's the plan for today.
I think we are better after 3 weeks. I think we feel better. I think the chemistry in between the team start to see positive things. I think that is good. I think we are arriving in a very good momentum, but now we need to translate to the game on the pitch.
Wembley is looking sensational. Red against blue. The 64th League Cup Final is on the way. Kick-off next.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We pay out before the game is even finished, thanks to our unrivaled early payout offer. Just back a team to win, then as soon as they go 2 goals ahead, your selection is a winner, even if they go on to lose or draw. Our early payout applies to ACCAs and bet builders. Check out our early payout offer and see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Get lower, get lower.
Google Pixel 8 sponsors the Carabao Cup on Sky Sports.
It is the Carabao Cup Final. Those Chelsea fans getting ready to welcome their side out. Teams are in the tunnel already. It's a damn thing to say because it's a final, Daniel. It feels huge here pitchside, doesn't it?
Oh, the fans are fired up, the players are fired up. This is a huge occasion. It's going to be an amazing football match. Can't wait to see how they line up and how they play. And I'm really excited to see it.
It kind of sets both teams up for the rest of the season, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This is the one. You can make a statement today, get that first trophy. The rest it takes care of. I think from Chelsea's point of view, 4 weeks ago, 5 they've been terrified of this fixture. Looking at that Liverpool team, but right now with Liverpool's injuries, you have to probably make Chelsea slight favourites. Even if you look at the players that come off the bench, Liverpool got some very talented young players, but there's no Nunes or no Jota or some of that to come and maybe change it for you. So it's going to be a massive occasion. Liverpool going to have to really dig deep today.
It'll be very interesting to see if Chelsea do go at Liverpool, as Pochettino told you, Karen.
Well, yeah, look, I know Thiago Silva is an elite player, but not in that back line. I think he allows you to be more aggressive and press when he's not in the team and with that centre-backs that they've picked. And I think that's what he wants. He wants them to get at them. They have to match Liverpool's intensity.
Here they come, Chelsea and Liverpool, the 64th League Cup Final. Some noise here pitchside at Wembley. Chelsea against Liverpool. Let's join your commentary team. Mike Dean, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, and first of all, good afternoon to Peter Drury.
Mark, good afternoon. Thank you.
And so, in its own grand manner, Wembley embraces the entirely familiar. Chelsea-Liverpool again. One of the rich, recurrent rivalries of the 21st century. Their people so at home in this special place, so utterly au fait with this occasion, and indeed so nervously aware each of the other. Red and blue, north and south, Albert Bridge and Albert Dock. So much separates them, and yet so frequently their modern histories collide. And here they are, face to face in yet another standalone them or us duel. The 64th Football League Cup Final. The presentation party is led by the EFL chair, Rick Parry, who was, of course, chief executive of Liverpool for nearly a decade until 2009. He's joined by executives of the competition sponsors Carabao, including the CEO, Khun Setien Tam. Liverpool, led of course by Virgil van Dijk, extend their own record by appearing in a 14th League Cup final, and they seek to be the first club to win it for a 10th time. Kelleher, Van Dijk, Robertson, Diaz survived from the starting 11 of 2022. And so, of course, from the bench, does Jurgen Klopp. Of the 6 major trophies he has delivered for Liverpool, 3 have been directly at Chelsea's expense, and a 4th in the face of Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea skippered in the ongoing absence of Reece James by Ben Chilwell, appearing in their 10th final, having begun this campaign a round earlier than Liverpool in the last week of August. Their lineup for Pochettino includes not one of those who faced Liverpool at this self-same occasion just 2 years ago. The national anthem. The national anthem sung by Harry Lineker, with signing by Dave Shields. Well, these are formal greetings that seem almost superfluous. Chelsea and Liverpool began the Premier League season in each other's company. They were together at Anfield less than a month ago. Further back via the countless Champions League epics of yesteryear, 2 FA Cup finals, now 3 League Cup finals, and much else besides. This is the most played and perhaps the most storied professional fixture since the turn of the millennium. Well, given the stormy nature of Chelsea's season, it is a joy for Mauricio Pochettino to select from a calm oasis of pleasing form. He may have had a goalkeeping dilemma, but Georgi Petrovic retains the gloves despite the return to fitness of Robert Sanchez. Only Axel Disasi has started every game of the Chelsea run. His partner Levi Colwill turns 21 tomorrow. They play because Thiago Silva doesn't make it. £200 million to pair. Chelsea's priciest stars underpin their midfield. Enzo Fernandez hit the second-round winner against Wimbledon back in August. Ahead of them, 3 Englishmen, of whom Raheem Sterling, he of the Wembley upbringing and the Liverpool past, is a serial League Cup winner. And regardless of Christopher Nkunku's availability, Nicholas Jackson begins up front. So it is the same 11 which performed so well against the champions last weekend. Cesare Casadei is cup-tied. He played against Liverpool for Leicester in round 3. No Thiago Silva at all. 2 teenagers and 2 goalkeepers on the bench. No question, Jurgen Klopp's pursuit of this trophy, and indeed perhaps 3 others, is being complicated by a nasty casualty list. Caoimhin Kelleher was carded for this game even before Alisson's injury. Of course, he scored the winning penalty 2 years ago. Since the midweek game, the 2 changes are in defence. Ibrahima Konate and Andy Robertson return. It's Robertson's first League Cup tie of the season. And the front 6 is essentially what remains. McAllister, Endo, Gravenberch, all cup finalists in their first Liverpool year. And a front 3 with Cody Gakpo, who has scored in every round up to now, Harvey Elliott, who has started every game, and Luis Diaz, who's already scored home and away against Chelsea in the Premier League. So on top of all the others, no Salah, no Szoboszlai, no Nunez. 3 of the subs weren't even born when Chelsea beat Liverpool in the 2005 final. 2 of those, Nioni and Kumas, would be debutants if they play. Jurgen Klopp to ensure that whatever else might or might not follow, his farewell Liverpool season is decorated, and Mauricio Pochettino to deliver for Chelsea a first domestic trophy for 6 years. The Rhapsody in blue in thrilling discord with the red Mersey beat. It is the ear-splitting, heart-pumping disharmony of a grand Wembley event. They're at it again, blues and reds for the first prize of springtime, for the fresh green shoot of a new Chelsea blossoming, or for the final flowering of Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp. What are you feeling, Gary?
Big day. Atmosphere is absolutely incredible. Liverpool weakened and depleted with injuries, and Chelsea, well, will they ever have a better chance?
Cara?
Yeah, I think the big advantage of Chelsea is not just the team sheets, but in terms of having that full week. Pochettino's a top coach, and the work he'll have done through the week tactically, setting this team up to play against Liverpool, because they've somehow got to believe they can win this game, Chelsea, on the back of what happened just over 3 weeks ago, when they were heavily beaten at Liverpool. So it's not just what's happened on the training pitch for Mauricio Pochettino and his team, it's what he's spoken to them psychologically about believing that they can win this game.
I guess it is a big part of the narrative of this final, the extent to which the dynamic has changed since that Anfield night, the last day of last month, at which point you wouldn't logically have given Chelsea a prayer. Konate back at centre-half. He wasn't required against Luton midweek. Cole Palmer, who has been to such a great extent Chelsea's point of difference this year. Robertson back in at left-back. Poor Joe Gomez, who's done so little wrong, is the unlucky individual to miss out. Gravenberch, Endo.
Yeah, when you talk about people missing out, I think the interesting one for Liverpool was the team almost picks itself, but the manager definitely had a decision to make at left back, with Andy Robertson back, with Joe Gomez being in great form in that position as well.
And of course, Caoimhin Kelleher, the hero of 2 years ago, in a manner which he can't really have anticipated. Caicedo, in that expensive Chelsea midfield. This would be their billion-pound trophy. Dizazi, who was monstrously good against the champions last weekend. So is Gusto, from whom the first misstep. And what a Liverpool team you could pick from those who are not available today. You know the list, it barely needs repeating. But without those, they were very, very good midweek. And Van Dijk is always there.
The one area of Liverpool's team that isn't depleted is at centre-back with Van Dijk and Konate, and they play a huge part. Liverpool centre-backs, but it was always going to be important for Chelsea's two centre-backs to settle down quickly, and Colwill, he does well initially, but he's making the game a little bit more difficult than he needs to in the first 5 minutes by dribbling out like that.
Levi Colwill's start at Manchester City last weekend was actually his first start since the second leg of the semi-final against Middlesbrough. He turns 21 tomorrow. And if they win here, he should get the day off for it. Robertson, McAllister.
Yeah, just Van Dijk and Konate out at the back against Gusto and Gallagher. I'm a bit worried about that.
In by McAllister. And back determinedly by the Argentine. Jackson couldn't escape. Endo's gone flying, and Liverpool had another free kick.
Yeah, it's Caicedo.
I mean, he has a tendency to go flying, and you see that again. I mean, he was lucky at Manchester City last week that he stayed on the pitch, but as I said before, both teams yet really struggling to put a few passes together. Liverpool have started the better just because they've had a couple of dangerous free kicks now in dangerous areas.
Yeah, I think if Gakpo can just block Disasi there, you see Konate and Van Dijk. Van Dijk's just organising them. I think Endo and Gakpo are going to block Disasi, make him not be able to sort of spin round the back, and I think Gusto's in trouble.
This one is a little more central. Flicked in again by McAllister, touch from Disasi, it's come to Konate, who handled. The 40th game of the season for Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. Maximum of 23 more, minimum of 15 more. Liverpool on the front foot again. Elliott looking to prompt. Taken away for Gallagher. Shifted forward for Sterling to hurry after. Konate is back there, and Kelleher can clear. Chilwell. Back by Endo, down by Elliott, whose exchange with Bradley was smart.
I mean, you go back to the game 3 weeks ago, and I know you've got the Anfield factor as well, but Chelsea found it really difficult to sort of build from the back. We've probably already seen it on 2 or 3 occasions here. where Chelsea trying to build up from the back. Maybe not quick enough. That one was actually Enzo Fernandez. They know Liverpool's pressure's coming.
That's a super ball from Elliott. And Robertson's on the march, and Robertson has lifted it in. And the header is a loopy one, which is easily gatherable from Diaz by Petrovic.
Oh, no communication. Gakpo was in a far better position to finish that off. It was really good for Robertson. He delivers it early. And Diaz there, he can't be aware of what's behind him.
Bradley. Bradley has the bearing of a 20-year-old veteran. Bradley. Elliott, who you remember 2 years ago wasn't meant to be in the Liverpool matchday squad, got onto the bench because Thiago was injured in the warm-up and ended up coming on and taking one of those nerve-tingling penalties successfully.
Some pass.
Which Robertson sorted out. Gravenberch. Liverpool, remember, just still 2 domestic defeats all season, both of those in London. Spurs amid great misfortune, of course, and Arsenal more recently. Sterling, Fernandez, brought away with confidence by Endo, who runs away from Caicedo, feeds it up to Diaz. It's coming from Dizazi. Diaz went to ground, nothing given.
I mean, Liverpool so much more stable in the first 10 minutes of this game. Chelsea like a box of frogs.
Palmer. Cole Palmer. Nudged out by Van Dijk. Malo Gusto behind off Robertson for a Chelsea corner.
Yeah, that might just help settle them down. Very frantic. Those young blue shirts in this first 10 minutes. They need this little bit of respite to allow them to get up the pitch.
So Jackson inside the 6-yard box, or right on the fringe of it. Palmer now onto the goalkeeper's toes. Caicedo is joining the congestion, and Chilwell is about to deliver. In by Ben Chilwell. Kelleher's knuckles.
Oh, it's crazy. What's Diaz doing?
I mean, you could see that foul before he made it. I mean, Liverpool have done well. The goalkeeper's done well initially to deal with that first set piece, because that's something Chelsea will look to, put pressure on the goalkeeper, and then Luis Diaz does that. And there's more to come for that man, but he certainly dealt with the first one really well.
Gallagher and Chilwell conspire over it. Disasi over the shoulder of Jackson, and Sterling hiding behind the pair of them. In by Chilwell, beyond Disasi, fired back in by Gusto, and Kelleher had a view of it. Konate. Bradley's adventurously forward. Gakpo's up ahead of him. He's fed it here for Luis Diaz. Diaz and Gravenberch. And Diaz. Nipped away from him by Caicedo. Endo. He's won it from McAllister. Gap post through the middle. Elliott's wide. McAllister had a hit. Right down the throat of Petrovic.
Yeah, see an effort again from Liverpool. They win it. Chelsea think they're going to break. Endo does really well. And then McAllister hasn't really got many more options than to take the shot. Almost going to be difficult from there, but again, this shot just reinforces. And again, this now from Gakpo.
Gakpo and Diaz! Beaten out by Petrovic.
Those Liverpool fans at the opposite end, they can smell blood. It's a very nervy Chelsea team.
Palmer, Gallagher. Beaten off it by Endo.
Well, again, it comes from Chelsea trying to play out from the back. He slips there, Dizazi. And he gets away with one. Luis Diaz, who missed a...
Prevented the potential progress of Bradley.
Bradley really anticipates what's going to happen. Chilwell doesn't know he's there. A little look over his shoulder. And they're asking for trouble.
Yeah, initially Chelsea, they went almost man for man from the goal kick. And that's why the space was there for the Liverpool goalkeeper. Had to find that 1v1 with Dizazi and Diaz.
So same two again. Robertson left, McAllister right. In by Robertson. Repelled as far as Elliott, who looked to set it for Gravenberch. He ran into Fernandes, and Jackson now can run into the Liverpool half. And he does so with appetite. He falls under challenge from Bradley, nothing doing. Happily, and I mean this in the most positive sense, we haven't mentioned the referee yet, who is Chris Kavanagh, by the way.
Yeah, both teams had a few set pieces each now and not quite made the most of it. I think Liverpool's delivery's been a little bit tentative, almost just trying to make sure they don't put a bad one in without really putting the pace and whip on it that you'd probably need to get ahead on it.
This time tidily dispossessing his opposing fullback. One from Petrovic, Van Dijk away from Jackson. Bradley from central midfield, breaking off Fernandes. A shot against the back of Colwell. Sterling nips out. Gallagher had his ankle tapped by Elliott, and it's a Chelsea free kick.
It's a couple of times now, Gusto, who's been really impressive in this last 2 or 3 weeks. One of the clearest signs that the occasion's just getting to them a little bit. They need to get through this moment, Chelsea. Find something in the game that will help them settle. Maybe it's just time, but will they get time? Will Liverpool let them off?
Callister just too heavy for Gravenberch. Palmer. Caicedo. Acreage ahead of Gallagher. Turned in beyond Jackson for Sterling. And Palmer and Jackson.
Oh, what a save. What a save from Gallagher. Well, Chelsea out of nowhere. Robertson, for some reason, goes charging into midfield. Van Dijk can't get across. And Raheem Sterling, you think he's got to hit that first time. Why has he not? But it falls to Cole Palmer. And he just tries to sweep it into the near post. But Kelleher, well, it's wonderful. He's got a world-class goalkeeper in front of him, but he's delivered a world-class moment there.
That is unbelievable. That man more than most. Carl Palmer can't believe he hasn't put Chelsea 1-0 in front. I think the whole stadium is just expecting that net to bulge.
Well, maybe that settles Chelsea down. I have to say, I was surprised that Raheem Sterling didn't hit that first time as it's coming into him.
Diaz going the other way for Liverpool. Gusto with a telescopically extended leg. And a very tidy tackle out by Palmer. Well, he has been omnipresent, of course, in the Carabao Cup this year. The star of the show 2 years ago. Very nearly half of his appearances in Liverpool's first team have been in this competition. He has a remarkable penalty shootout record, which we'll come to if and when. You wouldn't be surprised with these two. He has claimed the moment of the game to this point. In by Gusto, blocked by Robertson. Eased out by Endo, shifted on by Gravenberch. Gusto.
Yeah, for the first time we can hear the Chelsea fans get up. Left-hand side of it.
Fernandes. Sorting out Sterling. Endo. Gravenberch. Well for Gakpo. Fernandes with a clean enough challenge, though Gakpo has stayed down.
Yeah, I think the first one was a foul. He played the advantage and the second one wasn't. Here's Gravenberch on the near side, who actually I think was fouled initially, but the referee played on.
Yeah, I think he played the advantage, didn't he? Because it went into Gakpo. And I think the challenge on Gakpo was a fair challenge. Yeah, you see that's a foul, but the referee, I think, tried to play the advantage. Well,
Oh, he just leaves one in on him there, Casado, with his left foot. Studs. Similar to one we saw yesterday with Harry Maguire.
Mike Dean's with us. What are you thinking, Mike?
Yeah, I just think he's caught his foot on top of foot. It's probably a little bit like the same as yesterday, but not as severe as yesterday. So he's tried to play on Chris. Hasn't quite worked out. The second one's not a foul, but for me, could have been a caution. Could go back and caution him later on, but obviously chose not to. It's a second bad challenge. Well, not a second bad challenge. Second challenge by Casado. So he's treading the fine line at the moment.
Video assistant referee is John Brooks. He will have had a good look. Mauricio Pochettino, of course, entirely at home here. He was at home with Tottenham during his tenure at that London club.
Well, we can hear the VAR official explaining to the on-field referee. The on-field referee knows there's been contact and he's asking what's happened and he's just having it explained to him.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting whether he can carry on. You know, Liverpool haven't got many options on the bench, and you look how frustrated they are. I mean, I don't think it's a red card, but Caicedo, he's already put a challenge in early on the edge of his own box. And you think of that one, he's very lucky not to at least be in the referee's book at this stage now.
I think also, guys, as well, I know the referee, the VAR can't inform the referee, but sometimes when challenges are like that, he's obviously seen a foul, he's tried to play on. That's when he'd like to think the VAR could say, well, for me, it's not serious foul play, as we said, but it is a definite yellow card. And that's why I wish sometimes they could go and caution the player, because it is a yellow card offence, no doubt whatsoever.
I think Jurgen Klopp may be most angry with the fact that he hadn't recognised that he'd played on for an advantage. Obviously, Gakpo then was fouled after that, or he thought he was fouled after that, which he actually wasn't. So I think he thinks that the referee's missed that first challenge, which he hasn't. I think he's seen it and decided that Liverpool can maybe go and attack.
Mike, you know those situations, do you think there's a case there for actually, if you don't have the advantage, Gakpo loses the ball, that you actually take that back because it happens so quickly afterwards?
I think he could do it, because obviously he's chose not to give the second one neither, which obviously wasn't a foul, but he could have gone back. But also I think the assistant referee on the near side, he's probably got the best view of the tackle on Gakpo. He probably could have informed Chris that yes, play on, but when the player has something, you can go back and caution the player.
Mike, I think what Jamie was saying was, if Liverpool are playing, can we go back and basically give Liverpool a foul?
Well, you might have said the same if Manchester United were playing as well, Gary, but we won't go there, eh?
Well, this is a problem for Liverpool. You just think how they'll reshape now.
5 at the back?
No, where would Joe Gomez go here?
Would he not go to 5 at the back 3? Obviously Gomez, Van Dijk, Canate, and then put Bradley and Robertson as wing backs.
Yeah, it's just it's not something he does too often, or if I can remember if he's ever done it really before Jurgen Klopp. Does Conor Bradley go into midfield? Well,
he's certainly good enough on the ball. I mean, he's picked it up in there a couple of times, hasn't he?
And of course, what it also does, and let's first of all allow some time for sympathy for poor Ryan Gravenberch, for whom this would have been, of course, as for all Liverpool's players, a day of immense personal importance.
Jurgen Klopp's going mad. I mean, he literally is going mad over there. I think it's the referee saying he's making a stud sort of motion as if to say that his player's been done.
The VAR is talking about an unfortunate slip in amongst all of that, Gary.
Yeah, well, what the referee's still asking VAR what's happened. He's obviously a little unsure on the pitch, but I think he's being fed the right information, to be fair to him. It certainly wasn't a red card. I mean, it may have been a yellow at worst, but it certainly wasn't a red.
Well, Conor Bradley's gone to right wing, Harvey Elliott's gone into the midfield 3, Joe Gomez, as you see with the ball now, he's gone into right full back. And Jurgen Klopp is screaming at the referee.
Well, what it does, apart from anything else, of course, is reduce what were already hugely reduced options for him from the bench. Joe Gomez, Kostas Tsimikas, really the only 2 senior substitute outfield players that Jurgen Klopp had available to him. You might include Jarell Quansah as a third, given the amount he's played this season, but beyond that, you are down to teenagers and very early 20s who have precious little first-team experience between them. And there's Jackson for Chelsea, and Fernandes for Chelsea, whose ball is too heavy.
Well, it's a poor choice. I mean, Raheem Sterling's looking right at him, and still looking right at him, saying, why didn't you pass it to me? He tries to reverse pass it with the outside of his foot. And Raheem Sterling's just, you see out to the left of him.
Palmer. Stolen away by Endo.
Yeah, the problem Liverpool have got with the injuries that they've got, it's not just players being out, it's what they bring, what the strengths are. So when you actually look at Chelsea trying to get in behind Liverpool don't really have that pace in the front three. So they're forever trying to get into the attacking players' feet.
Chilwell. Sterling. Bradley, whose instincts we have already learnt are very front-footed, gets the opportunity here to be just that. House of Liverpool's misfortune. And out of that misfortune for Joe Gomez, some good luck. He was injured for the League Cup Final of 2022. He stayed on the bench for the FA Cup Final that spring. He did get a few seconds of the Champions League final in 2019, but having been left out of the 11 from the start today, he gets an hour plus at least of this major event. Endo. Fouled by Caicedo.
I mean, he's made a few fouls already in this game. I'm going to mention how he's very fortunate the game of commentating on last week at Manchester City. It's probably to stay on the pitch, actually. Certainly for one challenge in the first half, but he's incredibly clumsy in a lot of the challenges he puts in.
Diaz, away from Gusto, not from Gallagher. Palmer.
Chelsea just have settled down towards the big breaking play.
Palmer, and Gallagher judged it okay.
Yeah, think about Caicedo and his challenges. He doesn't know when to slow down. He continues to run quickly at players and then doesn't just halt himself or hesitate as he approaches an opposition player, which means he's constantly giving fouls away.
Robbed by Bradley, seemingly fouled by Bradley. Having been at boiling point, he is back down to simmer.
I'm not sure he is. That smile isn't a smile like we know it.
Palmer. Jackson, no flag. Sterling's up. Jackson's on his way. Raheem Sterling! Now the flag's up.
Well, I was watching the assistant referee very closely. I thought Jackson had just gone a touch too early. We're not in line, so I could be wrong. But that was my feeling, that Konate steps up. They're obviously high, Liverpool, they always are. And he just steps, and I think he just does it in time. And that right knee of Jackson, for me, is just in front of the last Liverpool defender, but it's a brilliant bit of play at the end. It was hard to get that pass past Joe Gomez.
I think it's touch and go. It's very, very close. It's closer than we think. Judging by the way he's looking, the still we've got on the screen we've got in front of us, he looks onside on the screen we've got, but obviously there's another side on view that looks offside, so that's why they're going to draw the lines 100%.
Well, Mark Scholes delayed his flag, and in that circumstance you understand why. He had to allow the move to finish. It did finish with the ball in the net, and now it's about lines and millimetres.
Yeah, it's great work by the assistant referee, because I was watching him closely thinking he has to allow it to continue. I mean, Konate's... It is close. I mean, we're guessing, aren't we?
That's what VAR's there for, Gary. And also need to know as well, when the cross from into the middle, when Sterling scores, that may well have to be looked at as well, because we're not sure if he was offside neither. But this is obviously the main one. And he's offside, yeah, offside.
Well, that is an immaculate piece of officiating, you're bound to say. The referee's assistant delayed as he ought to have done, and then he flagged and was proven correct to have done.
Yeah, to the naked eye as well, Peter. You've got to applaud Mark Scholes on the line there, because he's called that in real time, and judging how long it took the VR to get the lines on, we're just here in two plus minutes. It's a really good on-field decision, and praise has got to be for Mark there. Outstanding bit of officiating.
What's the situation, Mike, in terms of actually putting the flag up? So the ball's gone in anyway, so VAR are going to check it anyway.
I think because his protocol, he's called an offside decision anyway. He would have said to Chris, waiting on, he is offside. When the ball goes in the net, he will call an offside decision. Obviously, if he thinks it's onside, he'll keep his flag down. So, but he has to let play continue, which he did do. And again, he's gone back and made the correct call. Very good.
And it just goes back to that point I made earlier in terms of what Chelsea have in their attack, in terms of players who really want to run in behind. Liverpool haven't quite got that. Certainly no real blistering pace, hence why Nunes and Mo Salah are big misses for Liverpool.
And Elliott, beyond Fernandes, Bradley, Elliott, Gakpo.
Gakpo to play Diaz in.
Endo, Robertson, McAllister, towards Bradley, who's won his header, but placed it behind Harvey Elliott. Into here by Konate, brought down by Diaz, sorted out by Fernandes. Palmer has Gusto going outside of him. But switches it for Chilwell, who's on an adventure. That's a super run. Inside the last 10 minutes, apparently, of a first half full of event. Because of that event, I suspect we're going to have a fairly hefty chunk added on. McAllister got away with one. Robertson. Diaz over the shoulder of Gusto. That was very adeptly done.
Oh, really good. He settled down, Gusto. He was really shaky early in the game. I haven't watched Liverpool's youth games and development games, but I take it this is the first time you'll have seen Bradley play as high as that.
Yeah, in that position. I mean, don't forget Liverpool's full-backs, we know they take up certain positions. Even Joe Gomez is doing that now. But you see Bradley, that's where he started his career, as a right winger. This from his time at Manchester United. When you've got a manager who's got confidence in young players, it gives them confidence and belief going into this game. And certainly on the back of the injury Liverpool have already had now with Gravenberch, there's a couple of midfield players on the bench for Liverpool, young lads. They're going to play a part in this game.
Liverpool's remaining subs: Bobby Clark, age 19, James McConnell, 19, Quansah, 21, Nioni, 16, Dan's 18, and Kumas, 18. Diaz, McAllister, Diaz, Robertson! Oh, he's hit the post as Gakpo, and Chilwell scrapes it clear. McAllister again. Caicedo's in the way.
Oh, Gakpo, so close. The worker position down this side. Just a lovely little pass into Diaz, and they say Robertson just puts it, it's a touch behind Gakpo.
And now Sterling, Gomez across. Calmly back by Van Dijk.
No, we've got a game now. Both teams looking really dangerous.
Gomez, Bradley, Gakpo, who has scored in every round so far, and really finished that sequence off. Fernandez, Jackson, clear of Konate. That's a super battle.
See that ball's come to Luis Diaz a lot more than there is on that far side. You'd expect that he's the real attacking one, but I think they need a little bit more from Luis Diaz. He's the senior man onto the attacking sort of normal trio, if you like. He's not doing enough in terms of going around his man and really committing him at times. Comes back inside on that right foot an awful lot.
Fernandez kicks out towards Gusto, nodded down for Palmer, who wants to give it him back. Van Dijk slid in. Elliott looked forward at once, and Diaz can have another little wriggle, and he's wriggled away from Fernandez, and he's chasing towards Dizazi. It's Luis Diaz, it's Harvey Elliott, it's Diaz again, it's Bradley! And it's away by Caicedo.
Oh, they're queuing up.
Back in by Gomez. Diaz. Endo. Robertson. Slung out wide by Van Dijk. Gomez. Well, Bradley and Chilwell becoming mutually entangled, and there's more. Oh, there's more. Chilwell's enraged. And they each need calming down.
No, I think Chilwell's trying to get a reaction out of Bradley. I think he's trying to play the youngster. To be fair to Bradley, he's walked away. Chilwell's looking like he's angry, but he's actually not. He just wants to get that young man sent off.
Yeah, just 6 and 2 threes. I expect a course for Chilwell, course for Bradley. That's all it is for me. Doesn't seem to be nothing else whatsoever that's gone on.
It's a yellow each.
Yeah, they're getting involved in a tangle, and then sort of both having a little bit of a
for Bradley. Out by Gallagher. Endo, McAllister around the corner.
He just hasn't settled as well as you probably would have liked, Gakpo, has he, at Liverpool? You just see him on his heels again now. He's not in sync with them.
Yeah, it sometimes just feels a little bit quick for him. He's not the quickest of players himself, but at times when he's on the ball, you just think, can he just do things at a quicker pace? But I mean, this has been his competition. Without him, Liverpool wouldn't be here. 4 goals scored in every round.
Needs one more, Jamie, correct, to be a joint top scorer in this competition. On 5 at the moment. Morgan Rogers, who got his 5 goals for Middlesbrough before, of course, moving more recently to Villa. Robertson's triple Canate. Diaz, last assault of the half. Robertson. Oh, Robertson for Bradley, that's a beautiful take. Bradley across goal, stabbed out by...
Day as a movie, a P&O Cruises holiday as a box set.
14-night Caribbean holidays from $1099 per person. P&O Cruises. Holiday like never before. At all protected.
Innovation. It's not just about technology. It's precision, detail, design. It's when all this comes together. That's progress you can feel. Audi, the official innovation partner of Sky Sports.
Starling Kite is the free debit card and app for kids. Starling Bank, the bank built for you.
You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. Let me fight beside you. Together, we can bury them.
But now, with just a £60 deposit per person. And spread the cost with flexible monthly payments. Jetsu Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. International protected.
Google Pixel 8 sponsors the Carabao Cup on Sky Sports.
So goalless here after the first half of the Carabao Cup final. It kind of feels, Karen, that whilst Liverpool have had control in the main, Chelsea have still had their moments.
Yeah, they did. We highlighted Cole Palmer at the start of the game, and he picks up the position here. It's really good. And then I think Gallagher goes into space that he leaves, and it pulls Liverpool slightly apart. And you're thinking, right, get into the box. Sterling, could you have hit that first time? And he takes the touch. And it falls to Palmer, you want it to, and Kelleher does an absolutely unbelievable save. You're thinking, as it falls to him here, it's got to be a goal. But what a save. And then to be fair as well, Endo does a brilliant block there to stop the tap-in again. But you just see the save from here, you're thinking, has to finish, brilliant save. And then the block here from Endo, just getting in there on Jackson.
In that situation does suffice.
OK, it is all in the balance here at Wembley. Smiles pre-match, there were frustrations during that first half. Even Kelleher keeping Liverpool in it, all still to play for. We'll see in a couple of minutes.
Google Pixel 8 sponsors the Carabao Cup on Sky Sports.
So what is the next big thing? Well, Galaxy believes the next big thing is you.
Me?
Yes, look at you. You're open to experiment. You open your heart.
I have a play this weekend.
And with the power of Galaxy AI, you'll open even more possibilities. And open your imagination. We're putting all that power in your hands. The next big thing is
Father to son, doing what you've always done.
Gillette Labs. Our next generation of shaving for the best a man can get.
Even living this high up, I still like to keep an eye on things, like my golden goose. I wanted more than just home insurance. With all this smart tech, Jack won't be climbing my beanstalk again.
I smell the blood of an Englishman.
I'm Scottish, actually. I've got a delivery for Greg.
Just leave it by the beanstalk. It's smart tech and home insurance. Smart home insurance from Sky Protect.
You know, gambling, the urge at first was pretty small, but over time it just was so strong. It was like a human-sized magnet, or probably about 100 of them. No matter what I tried to do.
The Carabao Cup on Sky Sports.
This time he takes it, reeling in the big fish.
dance has been propelled into another dimension.
The growth of it has been outrageous. I've literally never seen the like. It's a rock star environment, sold out arenas all across Western Europe.
This sensational crowd are getting the money's worth tonight. There's been plenty of drama and entertainment as the Premier League darts has got underway. Week 5, the whole shebang rolls into Exeter from 7 o'clock on Thursday evening. Sky Sports Action. When you look at the reactions of both managers during that first half, you see frustration, really, plenty of puffing out their cheeks, plenty of complaining. It is all still to play for. Second half is next.
Somewhere my lover stands on golden sand.
Gone to extra time and beyond. And here's Endo. And Diaz with green grass to run into here. Luis Diaz. Shepherded behind for a very prompt second half corner.
Yeah, Chelsea defenders aren't happy, they think it's offside. He's not. No chance. Is it Dizazi in the end that does well just to block it at the near post?
So Andy Robertson with the first set piece of the second half. Robertson with outswing, Van Dijk was attacking it, it came to Conor Bradley. Shifted out towards Gakpo and hit by Endo, who pulled it. Maybe it's overly simplistic because Liverpool have a very good 11 on the field now, but hearing what we did of the guys in the studio, it feels like such a big chance for Chelsea, this.
Yeah, and I think the longer the game goes, I think it plays into Chelsea's hands. They've obviously got attacking talent on that bench. Just see Caicedo down now, the challenge with McAllister. But as I said, I think the longer this game goes on, you probably have to favour Chelsea. But I think of some of the chances we had in the first half, namely Cole Palmer's. We got similar sort of.
Chilwell's throw, Konate is wrapping up Jackson. Jackson was strong, Gallagher joined him. Konate came up with the ball, but Enzo Fernandez has it now. Diaz.
There isn't too much, obviously you've got Joe Gomez at right back, but really experienced player. He's played a lot of big games. The rest of it's first choice. And they are going to need that if they're going to win this game. Certainly the two centre-backs, I think you mentioned before the game, Gary, how important they will be. Virgil van Dijk and Konate.
Augusto, covered by Endo. Nice touch from McAllister. Endo bounced off Caicedo. Faced with Konate, whom he's beyond. And Gallagher. And Fernandez trying something intricate which didn't come off.
I mean, did Fernandez know that there were players up with him or not? He tries the spectacular back heel, but if he just stands still, controls it, he's got a little layoff thanks to Raheem Sterling.
Well, that's the problem when your full-backs go into midfield. Misunderstand between Joe Gomez and Conor Bradley, and that's where that space, isn't it? You can drag the centre-back out wide as Nicholas Jackson did.
Well, Dizazi's error. McAllister pounced, Diaz is wide of him, Gakpo through the middle, and Elliott was the spare man. But Gusto now can go the other way. Gallagher. Cole Palmer. Well, got it. Didn't cross the line. Gallagher sorted out.
And I mentioned last week about Dizazi and how good he was, one of the best performances I've seen, certainly defensively, but 4 or 5 times today on the ball. It's been really poor, and that's where Liverpool have got a lot of their chances from, or situations that certainly McAllister should have made a lot more of. I think that's been the story of the game. When you're waiting for that final pass or final finish in great situations, just hasn't been there for either team.
He's gone long. Bradley's interested here. It's a good read by Petrovic. By Chilwell. Sterling's not given this up. Ronaldo had to work it out. Van Dijk. Diaz. By Chilwell. Sterling's not given this up. Ronaldo had to work it out. Van Dijk. Diaz. McAllister outstrides Dizazi. Chilwell, Sterling, sweetly on for Jackson. And Gallagher. And Gusto with appetite. Palmer.
Just looked a little leggy as well when he tried to get over to Gusto.
Cole Palmer. He hoped that got a little nibble.
He just goes inside. That Liverpool midfield, they look a little leggy. And this is that chance that was early. If you look in the middle, 3 Chelsea bodies. Gets played across. If he just holds it and lays it back to Raheem Sterling, does he know he's there?
Van Dijk goes long again. Bradley is the willing chaser. And Petrovic has first dibs on it. Oh, Palmer. He hoped that got a little nibble.
He just goes inside. That Liverpool midfield, they look a little leggy. And this is that chance that was early. If you look in the middle, 3 Chelsea bodies. Gets played across. If he just holds it and lays it back to Raheem Sterling, does he know he's there?
Van Dijk goes long again. Bradley is the willing chaser. And Petrovic has first dibs on it. Chelsea have kept a clean sheet in each of their last 3 League Cup finals. Spurs, Manchester City and Liverpool. Just the last 2 on penalties. Not therefore, of course, having scored in either of their last 2.
And when Liverpool have the ball here at the back, obviously you look forward, as I said in the fifth.
Chelsea have kept a clean sheet in each of their last 3 League Cup finals. Spurs, Manchester City and Liverpool. Just the last 2 on penalties. Not therefore, of course, having scored in either of their last 2.
When Liverpool have the ball here at the back, obviously you look forward, as I said in the first half. There's not too much pace there. The one player who's actually trying to make runs in behind, Conor Bradley, he's moved from right back to right wing. So he's making a run in there behind again. This gives Liverpool some sort of penetration. You know, Diaz and Gakpo are normally going to come to feet.
Elliott. Gakpo had peeled off. It's Gakpo's cross. It's Elliott. Beaten away by Petrovic. Another play by Palmer. Diaz. And still Luis Diaz.
Yeah, he's involved, combines well with McAllister. He's been really good in this game. Just doesn't get it right again. That was a decent effort.
And still Luis Diaz.
Yeah, he's involved, combines well with McAllister. He's been really good in this game. Just doesn't get it right again. That was a decent effort. Maybe one for the cameras for the goalkeeper. I think he'd have been pulled up if Liverpool would have scored the rebound.
Van Dijk, Diaz, Gakpo. Caicedo, McAllister, Gakpo. Gallagher and McAllister have clashed. McAllister seemingly on the receiving end.
It's unnecessary from Gallagher.
I think when you look at both teams, Van Dijk is the real standout in terms of size and stature on the pitch. And Liverpool haven't made the most out of sort of any set piece, really. If they can find him, it gives them a great opportunity, because we're not quite sure who Chelsea have got in the ranks to stop him.
I've been looking at that back post since the start of the game.
Robertson played it in. Van Dijk!
It's unnecessary from Gallagher.
I think when you look at both teams, Van Dijk is the real standout in terms of size and stature on the pitch. And Liverpool haven't made the most out of sort of any set piece, really. If they can find him, it gives them a great opportunity, because we're not quite sure who Chelsea have got in the ranks to stop him.
I've been looking at that back post since the start of the game.
Robertson played it in. Van Dijk!
Van Dijk on a set piece. Chelsea don't have anybody to cope with him. Look at the size of him, and you wonder why. Finally, he put a ball in the danger area, and it's actually Ben Chilwell who was up against Virgil van Dijk, and that's a mismatch. He doesn't even really jump. He just holds Chilwell off and just guides it into that far corner. And that's 2-2 now for Virgil van Dijk.
Well, there's a check going on for a possible offside.
I mean, the checking, but there's obviously that Van Dijk's not offside. The only thing I've got an issue here is that Endo may well have blocked the player that may well have been coming back with Van Dijk on the edge of the area. That's the only thing I can think they're looking at. But for me, I think it's more of a goal than not a goal. See where Endo's blocked the player that's coming back. May have blocked him in getting back to mark Van Dijk, but I don't think he is. I think Chilwell's the person that's marking Van Dijk.
Mike, that's the block. That's the block that I said that Liverpool should put on in the first half to get to the back post. It was Gusto and Gallagher at the back post in the first half from the opposite side.
There's a review. There's a review for offside. There's a review for offside.
Well, they're saying the block. So that Endo isn't playing the ball. He's offside and then he goes and blocks. I think it's Colwill.
Mike, does that happen on every set piece?
It does. And what you'll do, because he's affected, Endo is watching the defender, so he's stopping the defender getting back in a position to make the challenge on Van Dijk. So that's why he's gone over to look at the screen to have a look at it. It's not Van Dijk that's offside, but the 26 cannot challenge Van Dijk because he's being blocked off by Endo. In my opinion, and my honest opinion is, I think we'll be choked out because he stopped looking at. But for me, I think it's more of a goal than not a goal. See where Endo's blocked the player that's coming back. May have blocked him in getting back to mark Van Dijk, but I don't think he is. I think Chilwell's the person that's marking Van Dijk.
Mike, that's the block. That's the block that I said that Liverpool should put on in the first half to get to the back post. It was Gusto and Gallagher at the back post in the first half from the opposite side.
There's a review. There's a review for offside. There's a review for offside.
Well, they're saying the block. So that Endo isn't playing the ball. He's offside and then he goes and blocks. I think it's Colwill.
Mike, does that happen on every set piece?
It does. And what you'll do, because he's affected, Endo is watching the defender, so he's stopping the defender getting back in a position to make the challenge on Van Dijk. So that's why he's gone over to look at the screen to have a look at it. It's not Van Dijk that's offside, but the 26 cannot challenge Van Dijk because he's being blocked off by Endo. In my opinion, and my honest opinion is, I think we'll be choked out because he stopped the defender getting back to mark Van Dijk in that space.
I think we see that in almost every set piece where players stand offside and they stop the players running back.
I think you do, but also when it involves the players with the drop-in zone. I had one with Maguire at Burnley the other year, exactly the same, and the ball got choked out because he stopped the player getting back to challenge Van Dijk. It's subjective offside, and it will be given offside in my opinion.
And the goal is disallowed for what you may call a technical offside. And that's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah, he smiles, Jurgen Klopp. I have to say it's something that I was calling for from Liverpool early in the game, that it just looked like the perfect tactic to get Van Dijk and Konate against those smaller players at the back, but they've just been punished for it. Endo, maybe it was a little bit too obvious, maybe he just needs to be a little smarter and cuter. Harsh on Liverpool, a lifeline for Chelsea.
We see that in almost every set piece where players stand offside and they stop the players running back.
I think you do, but also when it involves the players with the drop-in zone. I had one with Maguire at Burnley the other year, exactly the same, and the ball got choked out because he stopped the player getting back to challenge Van Dijk. It's subjective offside, and it will be given offside in my opinion.
And the goal is disallowed for what you may call a technical offside. And that's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah, he smiles, Jurgen Klopp. I have to say it's something that I was calling for from Liverpool early in the game, that it just looked like the perfect tactic to get Van Dijk and Konate against those smaller players at the back, but they've just been punished for it. Endo, maybe it was a little bit too obvious, maybe you just need to be a little smarter and cuter. Harsh on Liverpool, a lifeline for Chelsea.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly harsh. I think we see that on almost every set piece, where the attacking team players stand offside and they try and block the defensive line running back in. I can totally get it if it was the guy who was marking Virgil van Dijk. I get that.
Palmer teasing out by Van Dijk, forward by McAllister. Play goes on with the sulphurous Liverpool's celebratory fireworks in the nostrils of the players. Van Dijk, Robertson.
I can totally get it if it was the guy who was marking Virgil van Dijk. I get that.
Palmer teasing out by Van Dijk, forward by McAllister. Play goes on with the sulphurous Liverpool's celebratory fireworks in the nostrils of the players. Van Dijk, Robertson, sweetly taken by Gakpo, who was caught up by Caicedo, who took the ball.
Yeah, I actually think that's one of the occasions where Caicedo does get a little toe poke on it.
Yeah, as I said, you see Chilwell with Virgil van Dijk, you see Endo block. I think it's incredibly harsh. I think we see that on almost every set piece. We see it at times with goalkeepers. Yeah, it doesn't impact Ben Chilwell or Virgil van Dijk. You could argue the player would be in there, but I mean, often you see Arsenal stand in the way of a goalkeeper or stop. I mean, blocking happens on almost every set piece.
I think you're right, it does, but where
yeah, as I said, you see Chilwell with Virgil van Dijk, you see Endo block. I think it's incredibly harsh. I think we see that on almost every set piece. We see it at times with goalkeepers. Yeah, it doesn't impact Ben Chilwell or Virgil van Dijk. You could argue the player would be in there, but I mean, often you see Arsenal stand in the way of a goalkeeper or stop. I mean, blocking happens on almost every set piece.
I think you're right, it does, but where the ball's dropping zone, you can see there, James, that's where Colwell would have been, so that's why I can understand why it is being chalked off.
Well, every time a goalkeeper gets held off in the 6-yard box and a header's in the 6-yard box, is that a foul?
Not always, no.
No, well, thanks, Mike.
McAllister, Robertson.
It's brilliant hearing two people from Liverpool argue on commentary. It's fantastic.
I think you'll find out from the Whittle, Gallagher, the wrong goal there.
Sorry.
It's quite all right.
I'll put you all in the same bucket.
Well, Raheem Sterling had the ball in the net in the first half, and he is giving way now. Not a lot of Liverpudlian sympathy for him. His replacement is Christopher Nkunku, who, whilst relatively meaninglessly, did score for Chelsea at Anfield at the end of last month. Two-time German Cup winner, Christopher Nkunku with Leipzig.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp's got that look of him on the far side. It's us against the world. The referee He's getting the brunt of him, he's at him all the time. Feels really hard done to on the grab and bear challenge and on that goal that's disallowed.
It's quite all right.
I'll put you all in the same bucket.
Well, Raheem Sterling had the ball in the net in the first half, and he is giving way now. Not a lot of Liverpudlian sympathy for him. His replacement is Christopher Nkunku, who, whilst relatively meaninglessly, did score for Chelsea at Anfield at the end of last month. Two-time German Cup winner, Christopher Nkunku with Leipzig.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp's got that look of him on the far side. It's us against the world. And the referee is getting the brunt of him. He's at him all the time. Feels really hard done to on the grab and bear challenge and on that goal that's disallowed.
There's a right old pile-up underneath the nose of the referee's assistant there.
Yeah, it's a yellow card, that, for Andy Robertson, I think. It's unlike him, he just loses his head a little bit. He has a little bit of a swipe.
That is like him.
He's not usually as obvious as that, though. If you just look at what he does here.
No, but he actually gets away with the first one a little bit here.
It's not that one.
No, it's the one after, I'm saying.
No, it's this one now, there.
Yeah, I mean, that is ridiculous. I mean, the linesman just, a yard away from you. And as I said, he got away with a couple to start with.
But it is a free kick. Card or no card. And this renders Liverpool vulnerable now. Coming down from a high that was cut off in its prime.
You just see when Nkunku is there, the 18, just stood behind that line. Can they just...
There's a right old pile-up underneath the nose of the referee's assistant there.
Yeah, it's a yellow card, that, for Andy Robertson, I think. It's unlike him, he just loses his head a little bit. He has a little bit of a swipe.
That is like him.
He's not usually as obvious as that, though. If you just look at what he does here.
No, but he actually gets away with the first one a little bit here.
It's not that one.
No, it's the one after, I'm saying.
No, it's this one now, there.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. I mean, the linesman just, a yard away from you. And as I said, he got away with a couple to start with.
But it is a free kick. Card or no card. And this renders Liverpool vulnerable now. Coming down from a high that was cut off in its prime.
You just see when Nkunku is there, the 18, just stood behind that line. Can they just stop those Liverpool players getting out to him, pull it back? No, he can't.
Gallagher too heavy for Dizazi.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery. There was an obvious free kick there, just to sort of pull it back behind that Liverpool back line.
Chilwell has won a corner at the west end of Wembley, which is enveloped by Chelsea blue. First Caicedo showed short, then Jackson. Gallagher ignored the pair of them. And now Gallagher delivers, and it's scooped up from right underneath them. Gallagher too heavy for Dizazi.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery. There was an obvious free kick there, just to sort of pull it back behind that Liverpool back line.
Chilwell has won a corner at the west end of Wembley, which is enveloped by Chelsea blue. First Caicedo showed short, then Jackson. Gallagher ignored the pair of them. Now Gallagher delivers, and it's scooped up from right underneath the crossbar by Dizazi.
I mean, you can't believe this game's 0-0.
Well, it looked harder to miss. He just had to help it in, but he just pops it up in the air off his knee.
By Bradley, on by Gakpo. There were a lot of people 2 years ago after the League Cup final between these pair who said it was one of the greatest goalless games there's ever been. You don't necessarily categorise this in the same way, but my goodness me, it's eventful. And as Jamie says, it's bemusing that it's still goalless. Diaz, impishly and penetratively, Diaz, and Gakpo has blazed.
Oh, Gakpo. Luis Diaz, so direct, drives right the way through the heart of Chelsea, pops it off into a really good position. It is coming across the body of Gakpo, which makes it difficult always, but it was a softer roll across his body as you're going to get. He just has to concentrate and not lean back.
And Liverpool changes. There were a lot of people 2 years ago after the League Cup final between these pair who said it was one of the greatest goalless games there's ever been. You don't necessarily categorise this in the same way, but my goodness me, it's eventful. And as Jamie says, it's bemusing that it's still goalless. Diaz, impishly and penetratively, Diaz, and Gakpo has blazed.
Oh, Gakpo. Luis Diaz, so direct, drives right the way through the heart of Chelsea, pops it off into a really good position. It is coming across the body of Gakpo, which makes it difficult always, but it was a softer roll across his body as you're going to get. He just has to concentrate and not lean back.
And Liverpool change is imminent. This is going to be Bobby Clark, who has played just 6 minutes in the League Cup prior to this, in the second leg of the semi-final at Fulham. Away, that's a lovely take from Harvey Elliott. Bradley. Colwell was well stationed. Nkunku and Gallagher. Colwell, he's got away from Gomez. Away, that's a lovely take from Harvey Elliott. Bradley. Colwell was well stationed. Nkunku and Gallagher. Colwell, he's got away from Gomez, and Colwell delivered. Palmer, Gusto. Van Dijk off balance, but out of play. Gallagher. Palmer, Fernandes, Gusto. Too heavy for Jackson. So Conor Bradley, after 70 Wembley minutes, which would a matter of months ago been beyond his wildest dreams, gives way to Bobby Clark, who would be experiencing the same sort of fantasy here. He was born just short of 3 weeks before the 2005 League Cup Final between Chelsea and Liverpool. I'm told his dad Lee, famous footballer in his time with Newcastle and Sunderland and Fulham, is in the stadium to watch him.
Yeah, now Elliott's moved back up into that front three. For Conor Bradley, sorry, he's outstanding. What an introduction to Liverpool it's been for him. Really impressive.
Too heavy for Jackson. So Conor Bradley, after 70 Wembley minutes, which would a matter of months ago been beyond his wildest dreams, gives way to Bobby Clark, who would be experiencing the same sort of fantasy here. He was born just short of 3 weeks before the 2005 League Cup Final between Chelsea and Liverpool. I'm told his dad Lee, famous footballer in his time with Newcastle and Sunderland and Fulham, is in the stadium to watch him.
Yeah, now Elliott's moved back up into that front three. For Conor Bradley, sorry, he's outstanding. What an introduction to Liverpool it's been for him. Really impressive.
He's making a run here, Bobby Clark. It's come to Gakpo, and it would have come to Elliott.
Oh, well done Nkunku, by the way. He has seen the danger and got back in. We often criticise wide players and forwards for not getting back in, so we should give them credit when they're right back in there. They're in trouble there, Chelsea.
Clark. On the corner. And he'll feel quickly part of it now. He's making a run here, Bobby Clark. It's come to Gakpo, and it would have come to Elliott.
Oh, well done Nkunku, by the way. He has seen the danger and got back in. We often criticise wide players and forwards for not getting back in, so we should give them credit when they're right back in there. They're in trouble there, Chelsea.
Clark. On the corner. And he'll feel quickly part of it now.
Andy Robertson is coming over with McAllister, screaming at him who's going to take it. But I think Liverpool were unfortunate on their last set piece, but the name of the game doesn't change. Trying to find the head of Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, he's having a word with the referee saying, I'm going to get blocked.
What are we allowed to do, ref? Elliott's competing, Palmer was in the way. Palmer hacks it partially out and Nkunku can't gather it. Up in the air by Endo, Fernandez again. Forward by Clark, who's at the back of Caicedo. He's kept on going, and it's picked off by Dizazi.
Moses Caicedo, when he was at Brighton, he thought he was actually quite good on the ball, but you watch him here at Chelsea, he's absolutely shocking at times in possession.
Yeah, he's really struggled, he has. I think of that fight at the start of the season between both clubs willing to spend, what was 115 million.
Chilwell.
You know who's going to get the Chelsea assist now, don't you?
Nkunku, Colwell. His touchline. Caicedo. Palmer driving up Robertson. Cole Palmer. Oh, it's against the post from Gallagher.
Wow. Oh, this ball doesn't want to go in.
Well, the good fortune extends both ends of the pitch. Cole Palmer. There's a gap between Konate and Van Dijk, and Gallagher's in that gap.
Oh, Gallagher and Gakpo have both hit that post.
Finds Gallagher in that position. And we've seen him in the last couple of weeks, moving a little bit further out away at Crystal Palace. Just going from that number 10 position, unmarked into the box.
Hoisted wide by Van Dijk. Come into that, Palmer. And Conor Gallagher couldn't get a shot away.
Van Dijk to the rescue for Liverpool. Starting to cause problems down there, right, Chelsea. Cole Palmer at times find himself 1v1 with Andy Robertson.
Inside the quiet final quarter of an hour of the night in October of 2017. Otherwise, Klopp has been in charge of their personal duels. Gallagher again. Robertson, Gakpo, Diaz, Chelsea just a little shy at the back. Endo, Elliott.
He's done really well, young Clark, since he's come on 3 or 4 times. He's been involved.
McAllister crashed in, Chelsea have a free kick. Cards out. This is McAllister, the third to have seen yellow on the day.
Well, before the game, Cara, you said that if it went this late on, you'd fancy that Chelsea were more the favourites because of Liverpool's lack of strength on the bench. Do you still feel the same now we're here?
Yeah, of course. And also you think of the players who, how if this actually goes all the way maybe to penalties. A lot of Liverpool's penalty takers are actually injured and not involved.
Nkunku, Jackson.
It's not so much that Liverpool have got a really young bench, it's the fact that there's not really a lot of attacking players on the bench who you think could maybe come on and change it in terms of trying to get a goal. You think could maybe come on and change it in terms of trying to get a goal. I mean, more often than not, extra time just ends up sort of having both.
That kind of a day again. They've been here before, they've been here before. You just don't know.
Well, you can see Liverpool still, over the course of this match, far more dangerous moments than Chelsea.
That kind of a day again. They've been here before, they've been here before. You just don't know.
Well, you can see Liverpool still, over the course of this match, far more dangerous moments than the Chelsea box, but Chelsea have had a couple of big chances. Gallagher and Palmer, the biggest.
This is Palmer. Macedo, Gusto, Nkunku, angle too tight.
Yeah, it was always one of those, the way that Gusto crosses it, that was moving away from Nkunku.
Gusto, Nkunku, angle too tight.
Yeah, it was always one of those, the way that Gusto crosses it, that was moving away from Nkunku.
There is a lot of activity on the Liverpool bench. And 3 young men in red are about to get their dream come true. Canate, Gakpo, held by Fernandes. Jackson couldn't hold it. Endo.
He's got to do more. Gakpo, he's one of the senior men out there for Liverpool.
McAllister for Diaz. Through the middle, Gallagher is galloping. If Palmer can see him, this is Conor Gallagher! And Kelleher was so promptly and proudly standing up to him.
Well done, Kelleher. It was brilliant. We could see it all evolve in front of us. And the goalkeeper made such a positive early decision to get out. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, the best piece of credit you can give him. It feels like Alisson's been in goal today for Liverpool.
I just think Gallagher got shocked. He was surprised that Kelleher was on top of him so quickly.
Fernandes, Jackson's on his way. There is no flag. There is no Canate, who held up.
He stays on the side. Canate thinks about stepping up into his own half and then gets back the centre-back and holds him up well. But he just pops it off. And he's leaning back. Conor Gallagher, that's the big chance where he gets smothered and suffocated by the goalkeeper.
So change at left back, Tsimikas for Robertson. Alexis McAllister is also giving way for Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that one. He just looked a little leggy about 10-15 minutes ago, the Argentinian.
So that's a big chance for young James McConnell. Good luck to him. And Cody Gakpo gives way to this boy, Jayden Danns, who we all met for the first time midweek and who impacted so immediately.
Well, a lot of managers talk about having pitch, but Jurgen Klopp has gone for it with them, and well done to him for that.
Yeah, can Klopp's kids do it?
The easy thing would have been just to leave the more experienced ones out there. But you're right, there are a group of young men out there now in those red shirts. There's going to be quite a bit of added time here, because on the offside goal, I'm sure I heard the VAR official inform the referee that it was 3.5, 4 minutes that you would need to add on just for that alone.
Danns allowed to run at Disasi. Here's Nkunku. Gallagher's up with him. Jackson's through the middle.
I mean, you talk about these young players coming on for Liverpool now, but I think if Chelsea, they're making a change themselves, and this is a guy I think who cost 70, 80 million pound coming on the pitch now. I didn't think he was going on at left back or centre back.
I think there's an issue with the board. Regardless of numbers, we all recognise.
Now, but I think if Chelsea, they're making a change themselves, and this is a guy I think who cost 70, 80 million pound coming on the pitch now. I didn't think he was going on at left back or centre back.
I think there's an issue with the board. Regardless of numbers, we all recognise Mykhailo Mudryk, and he is replacing Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, and Nkunku will go up top, I think, will he?
Yeah.
And Mudryk will come to this left-hand side. Well, this is Keller.
I mean, this game might go to extra time, but it feels huge for not just Chelsea, but Pochettino. It almost feels unthinkable. If he doesn't go on and win this trophy, he'll probably never get enough better opportunities, certainly against quality opposition like Liverpool with the team that they have out.
From Caicedo, Liverpool's free kick.
Yeah, there's a big responsibility. There has been all game on Konate and Van Dijk and the goalkeeper, and they're delivering at the moment. They're keeping their team in it.
Clark.
Causing them a problem.
Caicedo. Gallagher. Mudryk. Nkunku went to ground. There'll be a question.
It was definitely not a penalty. I think he was playing for it, Nkunku. He just had that weird sort of like throw himself to the ground and his legs back type of feel to it.
VAR check is hurriedly complete.
I mean, that attack comes from Joe Gomez doing that inverted fullback position.
Goodness me.
Everything but.
What the hell has just happened? Kelleher, Konate, and someone looking down on Liverpool has kept it at 0-0. Konate first, Kelleher second, and then Joe Gomez, and then back to the goalkeeper. His pinball.
Liverpool have just got to get to extra time here.
Stolen away by Diaz, and he is swift, and he has company. Diaz again. Surrounded by three. Gallagher couldn't progress. Cole Palmer just about escapes.
Yeah, Diaz just trying to be a little bit greedy, do it too much on his own. I'm not quite sure if anyone on the pitch has understood what Jurgen Klopp is trying to tell them to do there.
The angst of being on the edge. Chilwell asking Mudryk to go. But he was threatening to get away from Gomez, who was just so smooth.
Gomez's passing and City's come on has been really poor.
Free kick Chelsea quickly taken. Gallagher.
Gallagher's been really good this second half. Just his final finish has let him down. I say let him down. He was very unlucky hitting the post, but
Hasn't he?
Yeah, very good. I think he's been better than the two behind him that have cost 100 million each.
100%.
if you're Liverpool, you've got to try and work for a set piece in the final third, haven't you, and get Van Dijk and Konate in the box. That's where you would think Liverpool's best chance may lie, with all these changes that they've had to make in front of them too. What's he doing?
They've got it clear, and as far as Palmer. Who's just the ball rode up. Elliott, lovely turn from Gallagher, robust challenge from Konate at Chelsea. Free kick.
Yeah, he'll have to be careful.
Yeah.
He'll have to be really careful. He's played well, Konate, but he's just on the edge there a little bit. Gallagher just turns and rolls him.
I just think you're on a yellow card, and all Liverpool's defenders like to be aggressive, certainly the centre-backs, but I think you've just got to put the handbrake on with the situation that you find yourself in on that yellow card. The only hope Liverpool have is those two centre-backs continue to play as they have been for 96 minutes.
96.
Get lower, get lower.
Google Pixel 8 sponsors the Carabao Cup on Sky Sports.
Life moves too fast. Precious moments last longer at Centre Parks.
Only phone with best tape. Google Pixel 8.
Hello, Fridge Flirt. With Deliveroo, you can get the groceries you want now. Monday is all
an eye on things, like my golden goose.
Hold on.
I wanted more than just home insurance. With all this smart tech, Jack won't be climbing my beanstalk again.
I smell the blood of an Englishman.
Scottish, actually. I've got a delivery for Greg.
Just leave it by the beanstalk. It's smart tech and home insurance. Smart home insurance from Sky Protect.
Popworks, they just work. Crunchy, that works. Puffy, that works too. Ooh, and tasty. Now that really works. And never fried. Popworks, they just work.
Google Pixel 8 sponsors the Carabao Cup on Sky Sports.
Well, not for the first time between these two. Were goalless going into extra time. What do you make of the disallowed goal, Jamie?
This is a contentious one as there is, really. You can see there that Endo certainly interferes with Colwell, and as he's trying to come out. Letter of the law, I guess it's the right decision, but we see these situations happen in the Premier League week in, week out, and it's a consistency, I think. But that drop-in zone, where the ball is coming into, where Virgil van Dijk gets the header, I suppose what VAR are looking at is that's where Colwell, number 26, would probably be. It comes in, I can see Virgil doesn't have to jump that high to head it.
This is the area.
That's the area. So I guess I get why they've done it, but it just week in, week out, we don't see that consistency. But there is certainly a gap there, and Virgil exploits it.
Once that went in their favour, Daniel, they had chances to win it, did Chelsea?
Oh yeah, chances galore. I mean, this one here, could he change his body position? And I think Keller has been a busy boy. Let's be real, he's been a busy man. He's made a lot of, had to make saves, and yeah, it's been many chances here. This is probably the best one out of the lot, I think. Gallagher tries to slide it home, and then the last one as well. It's very similar, where maybe a better connection on the ball. He's leaning back a little bit. Okay, I'm trying to make myself as big as possible. It's very difficult for you as a striker to slip it home.
Liverpool now, their average age of the players on the pitch is 24, Karen. They've got 3 teenagers out there. Harvey Elliott, who's 20.
And that's why you're looking at Virgil van Dijk there, your leader. I think Konate's been brilliant, Kelleher's been brilliant as well. But
I mean, Jamie, they're going to keep coming. Let's go back to Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Mike Dean, and first of all, here's Peter Drury.
It's the final for all generations, Mark. Of course, we cannot predict what's going to happen. What I would say is that 6 previous League Cup finals have gone to penalties, and of those, Liverpool and or Chelsea have been involved in all but one. It's what they do, and here they are on the way potentially to doing it again. 23 years ago this week, Liverpool won the first of those against Birmingham City, 1 Jake. Into the channel for Nkunku, Van Dijk across effortlessly again, or at least so it seems. Here's McConnell.
Chelsea have sort of gone into the shape a little bit, but I think because that's the way Liverpool are, they'd be better off pressing. I think Liverpool play is just going to partly run the clock down, but give Liverpool confidence.
Eligible match winner. McConnell. Clark. Elliott. Space here for Joe Gomez. Mudryk had to get defensive work done.
Yeah, Chelsea just shrinking back, going quite narrow, quite deep. Yeah, Van Dijk was always going to win it. Dan's just can't get it down. Just has to try and head it down if he can, the young man, but he doesn't. He heads it right above the goalkeeper, which I think they're always comfortable for, and Jurgen Klopp turns to those Liverpool fans to get them going. There's no rush to take it, and why not? Set these up. Make sure the delivery's good.
Tsimikas now with left-footed outswing. Deep from Kostas Tsimikas beyond even Dan's. Fetched by Elliott. Here's McConnell.
Yeah, for some reason, Chelsea just sat back. No urgency in the sort of defensive work. Is lined up over the other side to come on for Chelsea.
So away from Dan's, only found Diaz. Clark, Dance. Jordan Dance. McConnell. Clark. He picks it out.
He's getting a bit of is lined up over the other side to come on for Chelsea.
So away from Dan's, only found Diaz. Clark, Dance. Jordan Dance. McConnell. Clark. Picks it out.
He's getting a bit of confidence, Liverpool. Those young players starting to settle down and starting to control the game.
If Liverpool are going to win the game, it might have to be the young players. I don't think the energy is actually there. Certainly from this man, he's absolutely shattered Luis Diaz.
And Chelsea look shattered. Look at Gusto.
Crossed forward by Gomez. Diaz. Clark. McConnell dispossessed. Diaz went to get it back and was tripped. Liverpool have a free kick. They found new life, zest, youth.
I don't know what's happened to Chelsea in these last few minutes. It's like they're running in mud.
I mean, but Chelsea have started slowly at every sort of break. First half, second half, and now start of extra time.
While Conor Gallagher had moments towards the end of the 90 minutes when he absolutely could have won it, and very nearly did.
Yeah, he's limping, Conor Gallagher. There's no way he would have come off that pitch if there wasn't something up with him. You're looking there.
Yeah, he had cramp. He was stretching before when Liverpool had a set piece up against the post. He's run himself into the ground. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in extra time.
Yeah, I think Madueke will go wide. I think Cole Palmer, will he go off the front? You would like?
Go central.
You would think so. You can't afford to have periods like this, though, if you're Chelsea. So close to a first trophy for Pochettino at the club. So close for these players in what would have been a difficult season. They'll wake themselves up.
Tsimikas with the free kick. Mate kept it in play, and Petrovic took it off Dan's head. And flung it for Palmer. His pass for Fernandes wasn't good. Elliott was onto it. He seems re-energised. Endo has been the battery in the Liverpool watch throughout.
Yeah, this has been Chelsea right throughout the game. I mean, they started the game really nervously. In the second half, they actually had the kick-off. They were under pressure, I think, within about 20-30 seconds, and the same's happened again.
This is really surprising, though, with the fact that they finished the game so strongly, and Liverpool have got those young players out there. They're letting them off the hook a little bit. Not just letting them off the hook, they're letting them right back into the game. And
it's gained confidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think of those young players being really nervous. And the senior players who are on the pitch for Liverpool will be really tired as well, so really strange from Chelsea.
James McConnell playing just his 7th first-team game. Bobby Clark's playing his 9th. Jayden Dance is playing his 2nd in a week. Tsimikas. Diaz. Elliott! And the net rippled from the outside.
Oh, he just snatched at it a little bit, Harvey Elliott, but it would have been what Liverpool deserved in this first 8 minutes of extra time. It's such a good chance. He's just falling away from goal and just can't get it right. But if that doesn't wake Chelsea up, what will? They look legless, those blue shirts, like they can't move. Have they hit a wall? Or they just get a second wind somewhere?
I mean, coming into this game, you'd say it was a 50-50 game. But the longer the game's gone on, and the situation with Liverpool and the team they have on this pitch, I think the pressure and the onus has gone right onto Chelsea, and I think this will be a really bad one for them if they lose out. I mentioned how important it would be for Pochettino earlier to get his hands on that first trophy, not just at Chelsea but in England as well.
Right now, all the noise is red. But the ball is with the Blues. Madueke looking to go round Tsimikas. It's just a goal kick.
Well, I think the energy you see from the Liverpool supporters now is in recognition for those young boys who are on the pitch and have started this extra time ever so well. They've done themselves proud here, these young lads, since they've come on. I think of a couple of those young lads in midfield, they know they're up against the World Cup winner.
Yeah, they can smell something, those Liverpool fans. A little bit of fear in Chelsea, and they're willing their own on. Can Chelsea respond?
Endo juggling like as ever where he needed to be. Now Dan's striding out, and Fernandes dispossessed him. Palmer.
I think for Chelsea, try and get Cole Palmer on the ball as much as possible. A player with composure, with some class.
The ball from Chilwell. Madueke. Gusto. Nkunku. Van Dijk's there to close it down again and to scream at those around him.
Well, it's taken 13, 14 minutes, but Chelsea have just finally woken up.
I think Madueke on this side's made a difference as well. He's looked sharp since he come on.
Chilwell's corner. Watch down for Gusto. Disasi. Scooped in by Fernandes, on by Palmer. And fielded by Kelleher, who's asking Tsimikas to gallop up towards halfway and beyond. Diaz, 1 extra minute at the end of the first period of extra time.
Players smiling at them. You know, Chelsea, look, I'd expect more from them in extra time, I have to say. I thought it was their game for the taking, and it would be very difficult for Liverpool. But Mauricio Pochettino needs to wake them up, get them going. They can't just wait for penalties, let the game drift. They've got to go and do something. I mean, if you say...
Pochettino, whose last visit to this event was spoiled for him by Chelsea, must now squeeze out of those Chelsea players every last drop of energy available to them and to him. Their third consecutive goalless League Cup final, at least for now.
Is the message to Chelsea players? If I'd have said to you at the start of the season that you've got 15 minutes against Liverpool to win a trophy, would you snap my hand off? They absolutely would. They've got to recognise what's happening here. The moment that they're in, it's not something to fear or be anxious about. It's a moment to rise, and it looks like Liverpool are the ones who are more comfortable. He's got them in the huddle. A big chat.
Opportunity knocks, and it knocks loudly for that Chelsea group. Out of a tumultuous season, this is their wild-card chance to come up with a prize and underline for Pochettino the progress which certainly in recent days and weeks he has unquestionably made with them.
Been really interesting. I mentioned how Chelsea have been poor at the start of every half, and you just feel they've got 15 minutes to really go for this, haven't they?
Oh, they've got to go for it. They'll regret it. These moments are the moments that live with you for a long, long time. If you don't grab the opportunity. Is that Konate off?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I mean, another young lad, Jarell Quansah. Watched him since he was 7 years of age at Liverpool's academy. I think Konate been on a yellow card as well.
Which just drags the average age of the Liverpool 11 even further down. Jarell Quansah, how good has he been? Just another one who strode into the first team as though he belonged. He owned his place. This is his 20th first team appearance. This weekend last year he was playing for Bristol Rovers at Oxford.
Oh!
And that's how good he is.
Oh, your first touch in a cup final.
Chelsea sagging back into that defensive shape is no good. They've got to try and get up against Liverpool and be positive. That's where it started at the start of the first half in extra time. Get after them.
Is the energy really there, though, to get after them?
They look absolutely dead. Are the legs gone? Are they fit? Not sure. Not sure. Just allowed Liverpool to control.
Quansah. Clark. McConnell. Quansah. Against Bobby Clark. He was born in Epsom, Surrey, whilst his dad was at Fulham. Moved on for Palmer, who was caught up and fouled in the eyes of Chris Kavanagh.
Yeah, McConnell's young, but he gives away I think a wise, cynical foul. Obvious booking, but there was a dangerous counter-attack on.
Colwell, Chilwell.
I sometimes think back, particularly with England when we played in extra time periods, and you allowed those games to drift thinking that maybe penalties would be enough, and you end up with a bloody nose at the end of it. Chelsea got a little 2v2 it.
Well, Palmer slipped in for Fernandez, and Mudryk squaring, and Kunku's ahead of him. And here's Madueke. Only Madueke with a pass that was short of Palmer. Palmer fetched it back. Enzo Fernandez. Mikhailo Mudryk has to settle for a corner.
They're so raw, these Chelsea wide players, Madueke and Mudryk. You have no idea what you're going to get from them, so unpredictable.
One moment. Lifted in by Mudryk. Chilwell. First League Cup final Liverpool won actually back in 1981. That went to extra time, and there were very, very late goals. Alan Kennedy put Liverpool in front after 118 minutes, and then Ray Tonka Stewart got a penalty equaliser for West Ham, and it went to a Villa Park replay. Very late drama all those years ago. Elliott. Tsimikas. Dans. McConnell. Tsimikas. Forcing Konsa back. By Gusto, held by Caicedo. Okay, Chelsea advancing with caution and then losing it. Dans. It's bright from Gusto. And it's still bright from Gusto, and now Madueke joining in. Tsimikas in reverse. Noni Madueke. He still might, but he's not going to finish the game. He's not going to take a penalty.
Yeah, I thought he would have been a penalty taker. That's the reason I'm slightly surprised. Obviously, that sweet left foot that he's got. Only 8 minutes to go. You have to start thinking about that.
And Trevor Chalobah is the only Chelsea survivor involved today of the last final 2 years ago. The last 19 minutes at Manchester City last weekend, having through injury been absent for more than the first half of this season. Gomez flings it in, came out to Elliott, McConnell, Tsimikas, sharpish. Tsimikas. Clark. So he made the block, Madueke emerged. Did so stylishly. A bit beyond Nkunku and into Kelleher's territory.
That's been on all afternoon, hasn't it, for Chelsea, but they're on that left side. If you get that switch right, from their right to the left, he just never ever delivered that pass across. Once with Gallagher.
I think as you look at Chelsea's bench, there's no doubt they've got bigger names on there, they've got more money on there, but they've got such a lack of quality, those players that have come on. And they may deliver something in the odd moment, but they're so erratic.
Diaz.
Liverpool have just got to keep passing the ball and hope something opens up. And Chelsea to have those counter-attacks because they have looked really dangerous in the second period of extra time. Chelsea.
Look, you say that, I think Chelsea no doubt have got a counter-attack goal in them, but they've let Liverpool off the hook, they've let Liverpool play.
His penalty record this season has been wonderful. In some pretty tense situations. Tsimikas well advanced. Ended up by Chalobah. By Dizazi. Came down from McConnell. Tsimikas. McConnell, Clark.
Deflection.
Take one out. Nick.
You know what, no matter what happens here for Liverpool, those young players are really enjoying themselves. Do they understand the pressure involved, the cup final, they're making passes, and probably not wanting this game to end.
And their footballing godfather, Jurgen Klopp, is clearly doting on them. It's becoming unwatchable. In by Tsimikas, it's in! Virgil van Dijk at the bottom of a pile of red joy! 2 minutes shy of 2 hours! There's your moment! There's your man!
Oh, it's watchable now! There's absolutely no doubt for those Liverpool support teams for completely different reasons.
Flung in towards Nkunku, out by Van Dijk. We're going to have 3 additional minutes here. Van Dijk clear, Dan's the chaser. 3 minutes held by the 4th official. Is he pumped or what?
Oh, the passion. Jurgen Klopp and those Liverpool fans have been feeling it this whole extra time. Mauricio Pochettino's men have shrunk. They've shrunk right in front of our eyes. And right in front of their own fans.
Jurgen Klopp midweek liking a win against Luton Town to a game against Barcelona. I think if Liverpool hang on here and win this Carabao Cup, he'll be putting this alongside his Champions League trophy.
Well, what was it Pep Lijnders said midweek in his press conference? Every disadvantage has its advantage. And Klopp's Liverpool have turned their misfortune into potential fortune here. But there are 2 minutes to play. Fernandes, Gusto up his now left-hand side, in by Gusto, out by Clark. Anywhere will do for Elliott, but he's better than that. He's found Diaz. Clark was held up. Yellow card.
I cannot believe Chelsea in extra time. What has happened to them from the very first minute? of extra time. They're just not played, they're not turned up. He must be absolutely gutted.
And if Liverpool are to hold on, this game just tells you football isn't all just about money. Getting the right players, creating a connection between players, manager, supporters. Liverpool have that in abundance. Chelsea still haven't found that throughout this season. There's no doubt they have quality.
And right now, Wembley is a suburb of Liverpool. Gomez booked around delaying the restart. Forward by McConnell.
He's right at the forefront. And yes, we'll talk about Klopp's kids, but that was a colossal performance from that man at both ends of the pitch.
Yeah, special managers do special things, and he is one of the best that the Premier League has ever seen. A monster manager who has a middleweight squad, a bantamweight team out there, but punches like a heavyweight, and it's because of him.
Liverpool without compromise. Liverpool when they insist. Liverpool for every taste. Rock and roll, heavy metal, rhythm at the expense of the Blues, whom now they have beaten in 2 of the last 3 League Cup finals. For Chelsea, the dazed, glazed stare of the vanquished. The emptiness of getting here and leaving with nothing. This might have been the decoration on a season of Chelsea churn, but not this time. And so the Carabao Cup is Liverpool's, and in a few moments from now, those partying Reds will become the first club to collect the League Cup for a 10th time. The winners in extra time by a Virgil van Dijk goal to nil.
Peter, Gary, Jamie, thank you. Trophy presentation to come, of course. And that is remarkable, Daniel Sturridge. Remarkable.
Absolutely remarkable. I think, you know, Liverpool gave absolutely everything. So did Chelsea, but Jurgen's going to be absolutely delighted with his players, the young players coming on, doing what they've done as well. Virgil was brilliant and was an amazing finish at the end.
Virgil van Dijk's header was the 42nd attempt on goal in that game, Jamie, and the 20th on target. It was a long time coming.
Yep. Unbelievable. I mean, if there were... It might not be the most illustrious of trophies that Liverpool win, or Jurgen Klopp will win. But I tell you, if there was ever a match that summed up Klopp as a manager, this was it. Passion, desire, making his team run through brick walls for him. It was unbelievable. And with all those young players, what a day for them, because he didn't care about bringing them on, giving them an opportunity. Other managers might not want to return to the young players, but they were magnificent. Absolutely incredible. What a win. And for... It was fitting as well, the goal scorer, because Virgil van Dijk has been one of the Premier League greats, and he was unlucky not with the one actually in main
normal
time, and then to score that header. It was an incredible one, and set piece was fantastic for Liverpool. I was thinking they're going to play a 2v1. So surely they've got to play a 2v1. They don't. They get it in the box, and then Virgil rises a fantastic header.
It was. For all the youngsters, and Jamie's talked about Van Dijk, there are still the senior players that guided those kids through.
Yeah, I mean, Kelleher in goal was absolutely fantastic, but Konate for large parts of the game, I know he went off towards the end, was just brilliant, and Virgil van Dijk and Gomez and Tsimikas coming on, they're all senior players, so even though he brought the youngsters on, they could go and express themselves in the final third, and Endo was brilliant. So they had control at the back, but I'm so thrilled for the youngsters, to be honest. It's their moment, their time, and they deserved it.
Let's hear from the Liverpool captain, the man who got the winning goal, Virgil van Dijk, with Emma Saunders.
Congratulations! Just watching you look around, take this all in, what does it mean?
So much. all the young boys on the pitch. If you see the extra time, it's incredible. I'm so proud of the team. Intense game for both sides. They had chances, we had chances, and amazing. First trophy as a Liverpool captain. It's all for the fans, so let's enjoy it.
You've had some really big moments with this Liverpool side. As you mentioned there, everyone has played their part. But for you, how did it feel to be on the bottom of that pile of players, knowing it was you that found the winner?
I didn't want to get injured there. So I tried to get up a little bit quick, but I couldn't. Nah, listen, it's emotion, it's everything, and yeah, I'm so proud of the boys, you know, and see all the young boys, you know, making they're playing their part in what we achieved today. It's incredible, and yeah, on to more.
It may not be the last time that you're at Wembley with Liverpool this season, but are you savouring it just in case it is with Jurgen Klopp as your manager?
You should always savour the good moments, and this is definitely one of them. And listen, we will never take these things for granted. You know, we are very, very blessed, and you see it today as well. Obviously, it could have been the other way as well, that we lost, but we did it. We did a job, even with all the problems that we had before games, with the game, and yeah, it's just, I'm so proud, you know. I'm proud to be part of this club, but especially proud of the boys, you know. They all play their part, so it's all credit to the team.
Congratulations to you all. Enjoy lifting that trophy. Well done.
Thank you very much.
When we went to the start of extra time, Daniel, we mentioned the young age of the Liverpool 11 at that stage. Average age of 24 with 3 teenagers in it. Actually, Chelsea's was younger at that stage. They were just 23. But all their players were sort of grouped between 20 and 27. So it is that added experience that Liverpool had to guide the kids.
Absolutely. I mean, Chelsea, of course, spent a lot of money, and, you know, this is a new group of players for them, a new team. And for Liverpool, the young lads coming on, no fear. They've got the senior boys out there to help them, put an arm around them, make sure they know what they're doing tactically, speaking to them throughout the game. And yeah, they gave everything. Virgil seemed more emotional than I've seen him. It seemed as if it means a lot, because in the end, it's the manager's last season. It's his first trophy as the captain of Liverpool Football Club. He's proud of the young players, and you can just see the delight in his interview.
No, it was like he was saying, not on my watch. Not on my watch are we going to have excuses, because Liverpool could have gone into this all the excuses and maybe more pressure with not having Klopp, with all the injuries. They could have had everything, and maybe Chelsea might have been favourites going into it because of those injuries, but he made no excuses for his side today.
It is a trudge up those steps for those Chelsea players. It will be a much more joyful ascent for the Liverpool players very shortly. To guide us through it, let's go back to Peter.
Yes, it is a better ascent to watch, as Jurgen Klopp is, than to be a part of. The ceremony for which Chelsea and Pochettino have no appetite. Here was their standout moment to make a memory of this turbulent campaign, and it got away. It's been a Carabao Cup run which has in no small part sustained them this season. It has taken them to the edge, trailing for nearly half an hour to Wimbledon right back in August. Within seconds of quarter-final defeat by Newcastle, they left themselves a semi-final to chase after losing at Middlesbrough, but they chased it in style. They got here, and the final step was just beyond them. So now, spanning nearly 6 decades, 10 appearances, they have lost as many League Cup finals as they've won, and this is 3 League Cup final defeats in a row. It's now 6 Wembley final disappointments on the trot, a gut-wrenching new record for them. They've not too much time for regret. They re-engage with the FA Cup in 3 days' time. A crack at Europe, despite all the turbulence, isn't quite beyond them in the Premier League. There's a lot of reasons still for this Chelsea team to get up in the morning. But they lost here, and it stings. Gary, it stings.
Oh, it stings. I mean, the thing at the start of the game, that with all Liverpool's injuries, you would think Chelsea could have won. When the Liverpool's kids came on, you think they should have won, but then there was something just holding you back, because you couldn't see Jurgen Klopp watching Chelsea go and lift the trophy. That was always the thing I said before the game in the interview, and those Chelsea players will regret that extra time for a long, long time. I thought they played quite well and punched hard in the first 90 minutes and were unlucky. But in the real crux of the game, extra time, where they had Liverpool by the scruff of the neck with those young kids not having the answer in the last 10 minutes of normal time, they didn't turn up, they didn't perform, and you can't do that. You cannot do that. And it was at half-time and extra time that he had to bring them into a huddle and try and rouse them. What was up with them? But credit to Liverpool, they stand at the bottom of the steps ready for that magical walk, whilst those Chelsea players take the longest walk in football up those Wembley sweat steps to get the runners-up medal. But I'm really disappointed with Chelsea in that extra time period. You can lose any final, you can lose any game of football, but you cannot play like that. You cannot shrink and go back, particularly when Liverpool had 5 kids out on the pitch. They had to go for the throats.
So he's about to have his moment, perhaps one of 2, 3, 4 moments, Jurgen Klopp. And the three-handled trophy will be delivered once more into Liverpool's hands. These are the last buoyant steps on a cup run of thrills. Szoboszlai's worldies against Leicester and West Ham. Nunez on a stormy night in Bournemouth. Gems from Curtis Jones in the quarter-final and the semi-final. Cody Gakpo, a thread running through it all. And then today, Van Dijk. No club has had more frequent, sustained ownership of this prize through the years. It has passed through the hands of some great captains, great players. Phil Thompson was first to lift it in these colours. Souness 3 times, the last 40 years ago. Rush and Fowler, Hoopier, Gerrard and Henderson. And now the turn of the serenely indestructible leader of this age, Virgil van Dijk, and his boss. Jurgen Klopp's second League Cup to go with Paisley's 3 and Houlier's 2 and Fagan and Evans and Dalglish.
Oh, look at the energy, the passion, the spirit of Klopp. I can't wait till he leaves.
I might have a word when I get down there.
To cherish, never to forget. The indestructible smile.
He's had some amazing moments, Jurgen Klopp. But the pride he must feel watching those players walk past him. Academy kids, you think how young they were when he first come to the club. And as I said, towards the end of the game, that man was colossal. Virgil van Dijk. So much of Liverpool's success probably revolves around that signing that Jurgen Klopp made.
It is a cheeky, chirpy cue of young men, some of them so young they're pinching themselves. Has this really just happened to me? Did I cross the white line at Wembley Stadium and play as if I belonged, as if I knew? And he's going first. And he will collide either side of the cup with his leader. A golden sky, the sweet silver song of a lark. And he's winding them up again. And he's milking the moment. And it is a moment of togetherness. Everyone is central. Not least the inspired young goalkeeper. The first prize of springtime is heading home to Anfield. Liverpool for a record 10th time. Liverpool as if by right. Liverpool again. Carabao Cup winners 2024. And that for this stirred, impassioned club may be just the start of it. A ticker tape launch to the great Klopp run-in. Klopp has the prize that history demanded for him and which he demanded for Liverpool.
I mean, great scenes for those young players. Look at them. Just spoke about how young they would have been when Jurgen Klopp came into the club. And there's no doubt that man has absolutely transformed the club's fortunes from where it was for 5 or 6 years before he came in. And I said when it was announced that he was moving on, it's up to these Liverpool players to send him out with a bang. And they've started it well.
And this week they re-engage with the FA Cup. They're a week and a half from being back in Europe. Manchester City will be turning up on their fixture list before you know it. But for now they are blind to everything but this colour, this cacophony, this party. They've got one, and this one cannot be stripped away.
No, it's Jurgen Klopp's final lap. And he's run that first bend really, really well. He's excited tonight, but he's a workaholic, he's a winner. He'll have them back on the ground tomorrow morning, ready for the FA Cup on Wednesday, for the game at Notts Forest next week in the Premier League, because he knows that the big games are still to come, a lot still to play for. And I have to say, those young players, I love seeing young players do well. And for those young lads, you cannot believe how important this will be in their lives. And they've got a manager who's, like I say, his spirit, his human side, his passion, his fight, it's everything that you would want in a football manager.
Surrounded by players who are 20, 19, 18, 17. Jurgen Klopp is bouncing around like a 16-year-old himself, forever young.
There's a real joy, isn't there, Jamie Redknapp, in seeing the joy of Klopp and his senior players in what they've done to them.
Yeah, absolutely, because that will feel they had to lead the way today.
Look, I mean, that's such a great shot.
What a man. How do you follow that? How do you follow Jurgen Klopp? You're trying to come to Liverpool after what he's done and what he's created. It's virtually impossible. It is. The guy is just such a leader of men. He's led a city, he's led every Liverpool fan around the world has looked up to that man and what he's achieved, and turned around a club that was at the time struggling, and made everyone believe in what he's trying to achieve. And even those young players he's given opportunities to, the belief that he's got in all of them, he's just an incredible human being.
There'll be... There's a real joy, isn't there, Jamie Redknapp, in seeing the joy of Klopp and his senior players in what they've done to them.
Yeah, absolutely, because that will feel they had to lead the way today.
Look, I mean, that's such a great shot.
What a man. How do you follow that? How do you follow Jurgen Klopp? You're trying to come to Liverpool after what he's done and what he's created. It's virtually impossible. It is. The guy is just such a leader of men. He's led a city, he's led every Liverpool fan around the world has looked up to that man and what he's achieved, and turned around a club that was at the time struggling, and made everyone believe in what he's trying to achieve. And even those young players he's given opportunities to, the belief that he's got in all of them, he's just an incredible human being.
There'll be people up and down the country watching this at home in front of their tellies, watching in pubs, I'm sure thinking the same thing. You've got 17, 18-year-old lads here who are just taking this all in their stride. I mean, I can't imagine if I was 18 and up there, how I would react. It's all in a day's work, it looks like, for them.
Well, that's the culture that he's provided.
Klopp and his senior players in what they've done to them.
Yeah, absolutely, because that will feel they had to lead the way today.
Look, I mean, that's such a great shot.
What a man. How do you follow that? How do you follow Jurgen Klopp? You're trying to come to Liverpool after what he's done and what he's created. it's virtually impossible. It is. The guy is just such a leader of men. He's led a city, he's led every Liverpool fan around the world has looked up to that man and what he's achieved and turned around a club that was at the time struggling and made everyone believe in what he's trying to achieve. And even those young players he's given opportunities to, the belief that he's got in all of them, he's just an incredible human being.
There'll be people up and down the country watching this at home in front of their tellies, watching in pubs, I'm sure thinking the same thing. You've got 17, 18-year-old lads here who are just taking this all in their stride. I mean, I can't imagine if I was 18 and up there, how I would react. It's all in a day's work, it looks like, for them.
Well, that's the culture that he's provided for them. And like I said, the youngsters had the foundation behind them to go and express themselves, go and put the graft in, go and express yourselves. And with that man there, like I said, nothing was happening on his watch. And even when it weren't happening, OK, I'll go and get the set piece and I'll go and get the goal. And I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I felt a little bit emotional then watching Jurgen Klopp because I'm sad that he will be leaving. He won't be there, we won't see him week in, week out because, like Jamie said, what he's done has been unbelievable, really, and what a guy as well.
And he's also, going around those squad members who've missed this through injury, Curtis Jones there.
Incredible human being.
There'll be people up and down the country watching this at home in front of their tellies, watching in pubs, I'm sure thinking the same thing. You've got 17, 18-year-old lads here who are just taking this all in their stride. I mean, I can't imagine if I was 18 and up there, how I would react. It's all in a day's work, it looks like, for them.
Well, that's the culture that he's provided for them. And like I said, the youngsters had the foundation behind them to go and express themselves, go and put the graft in, go and express yourselves. And with that man there, like I said, nothing was happening on his watch. And even when it weren't happening, OK, I'll go and get the set piece and I'll go and get the goal. And I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I felt a little bit emotional then watching Jurgen Klopp because I'm sad that he will be leaving. He won't be there, we won't see him week in, week out because, like Jamie said, what he's done has been unbelievable, really, and what a guy as well.
And he's also, going around those squad members who've missed this through injury, Curtis Jones there. He hasn't over the last 20 minutes or so, Daniel, of watching him. I don't think he's missed anybody out as he's gone round that squad and the backroom staff.
It's a football family, they're all in this together, from the physios to,
With that man there, like I said, nothing was happening on his watch. And even when it weren't happening, OK, I'll go and get the set piece and I'll go and get the goal. And I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I felt a little bit emotional then watching Jurgen Klopp because I'm sad that he will be leaving. He won't be there, we won't see him week in, week out because, like Jamie said, what he's done has been unbelievable, really, and what a guy as well.
And he's also, going around those squad members who've missed this through injury, Curtis Jones there. He hasn't over the last 20 minutes or so, Daniel, of watching him. I don't think he's missed anybody out as he's gone round that squad and the backroom staff.
It's a football family, they're all in this together, from the physios to, players, you've got the fans, of course, who he absolutely loves, all his backroom staff. He wants everyone to feel a part of it, and some of those young boys haven't played a lot, so for them it's like, ooh, it's the final, but it's my first time being involved, so for them it is surprising to be there. So he's making sure they feel welcome as well, like, yo, you're part of this, like, you played your part today. The reason why our hands are getting on this trophy is because you gave your all for us, so it's a brilliant victory for him.
And he trusts his players. For those young players, they get their opportunities. Kumas, obviously, he's a young player, he's got a big future ahead of him. McConnell, Dans, Bobby Clark, just magnificent for them. I mean, look at the players that didn't play: Salah, Soboslai, Trent, Nunes, Jota, Curtis Jones, just to name but a few.
And actually, we've seen that several times this season, that, he's not afraid of making those substitutions and bringing the young players on. He's not always waiting until they're 3-0 up and a game is closed off. We were at Fulham in the semi-finals and they were under the pump a bit towards the end. Bobby Clark came on. He'll bring them on, whatever the match situation.
He will, and we've obviously spoken a lot about Klopp there, but it's also recruiting those youngsters to make sure they come through Liverpool's academy, they come through and they're able to go into that first team. So the whole system is just ran so well. It'll be really interesting how they move forward after this.
Yo, you're part of this, like, you played your part today. The reason why our hands are getting on this trophy is because you gave your all for us, so It's a brilliant, brilliant victory for him.
And he trusts his players. You know, for those young players, they get the opportunities. Kumas, obviously, he's a young player, he's got a big future ahead of him. McConnell, Dans, Bobby Clark. Just magnificent for them. I mean, look at the players that didn't play. Salah, Soboslai, Trent, Nunes, Jota, Curtis Jones, just to name but a few.
And actually, we've seen that several times this season, that, you know, he's not afraid of making those substitutions and bringing the young players on. He's not always waiting until they're 3-0 up and a game is closed off. We were at Fulham in the semi-finals and they were under the pump a bit towards the end. Bobby Clark came on. He'll bring them on, whatever the match situation.
He will, and we've obviously spoken a lot about Klopp there, but it's also recruiting those youngsters to make sure they come through Liverpool's academy, they come through and they're able to go into that first team. So the whole system is just ran so well. It'll be really interesting how they move forward after this.
Plenty more reactions come. We'll obviously hear from both managers before we are done here at Wembley. Liverpool have their hands on the 2024 Carabao Cup. The live sport keeps coming next week. This is...
It's lights out, away we go.
Oh my God. Nice job, guys.
Absolute pandemonium.
Good, massively hit.
Three-time champion of the world.
Clark came on. He'll bring them on, whatever the match situation.
He will, and we've obviously spoken a lot about Klopp there, but it's also recruiting those youngsters to make sure they come through Liverpool's academy, they come through and they're able to go into that first team. So the whole system is just ran so well. It'll be really interesting how they move forward after this.
Plenty more reactions come. We'll obviously hear from both managers before we are done here at Wembley. Liverpool have their hands on the 2024 Carabao Cup. The live sport keeps coming next week. This is...
It's lights out, away we go.
Oh my God. Nice job, guys.
Absolute pandemonium.
More reactions come. We'll obviously hear from both managers before we are done here at Wembley. Liverpool have their hands on the 2024 Carabao Cup. The live sport keeps coming next week. This is...
It's lights out, away we go.
Oh my God. Nice job, guys.
Absolute pandemonium.
Good, massively hit.
Three-time champion of the world.
It all gets underway then with the Bahrain Grand Prix. Practice from next Thursday at 11 a.m. Qualifying Friday afternoon from 3:10, and then the race is Saturday afternoon from 1:30. And then in a massive gear change, The Secret World of Sound with David Attenborough is on Sky Nature. All episodes are available now. So much more to come from here at Wembley. Liverpool are the champions. They've got the